Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. તો તમને ભૂખ લેવો પૈસા પછી એવું કરો તો માર નાખે જીવાનો નથી કર્યો તમારો સિંહ પૈસા
I'm not speaking anything. That's why it's not audible.
खान काय मोहम्मद खान
According to
अय्यो
Arpita, I think we should start. It's already 6 p.m. Okay. So, very good evening to all of you, and thank you all for joining the live session. Today, we have with us Arpita Bhattacharya, who will hold the session on special needs lesson plan for group. So, before we proceed ahead, let me give you a very brief introduction of Arpita. Arpita is presently working as a consultant for autism intervention and educator. She has been handling cases with academic, sociomotor, sensory difficulties, special children with ASD, ADHD, LD, and IED for the past 12 years in special schools and psychiatric settings. She has been assistant professor in RCI Training College and guest faculty for various institutions and academic mentor for rehab professionals and clinicians for 9 years. Would you like to add some more, Arpita?
No, I don't want to get into a very detailed, detailing about my work. So,
Okay, fine.
yeah. So definitely with years, the experience and the learning, we all get enhanced. So that's a natural process for every professional. I would just like to add that I'm not having a very good voice condition, and so there might be some disturbances in between. I am having the cough lozenges so that I don't cough much.
Fine. You all are having the cough problems nowadays, so it's not a big issue.
It's going on. So,
yeah. Okay, fine. No issue, Arpita. So all yours now. You can carry forward the class. Thank you.
Thank you, Shushpita.
Most welcome.
Okay. So this is the topic as goes that it's a lesson plan, and we will be discussing about lesson plan for group classes for special needs. So I know that lesson plan is now a very in thing for all the regular teachers because you have to prepare that in your classroom setup. But there are certain specificities which we need to keep in mind when we are having special needs in that group class. And so what are those and why are those that we need to discuss? And I would require active participation of students today because we will be doing, some, it's like practice. So maybe I'm giving you a template and then you have to give me that answer, that how can you frame that. So that kind of participation is needed. So it's not only, it won't help if I only speak. So, okay, so let's start. So in special needs, just let me know whether the slides are moving and all of these are working properly or not, the technical thing, okay? I'm going to the next slide. Is it visible?
Yeah.
It's visible. Okay. So what is lesson plan in group teaching in special education? So why do we make it? It is because it is actually a detailed guideline for the teachers in preparing the curriculum. So when a teacher is getting ready for a certain class, then the teacher is making everything ready, on paper. So it's written, it's documented, it's a document. A lesson plan is a document which is a preparation by the teachers, and it's like preparing the curriculum. I would request you, if you can, switch on your videos if possible. Those of you can.
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. So, so that we can interact a bit, because facial expressions and gestures are important. So, preparing a lesson plan. Thank you, Jeffrey. So, preparing a lesson plan is important. It's a pre-preparation. So the first point we need to remember, when we are writing the lesson plan, it has to be written entirely in future tense. The class has not happened yet. The class will be taken maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. So we are pre-preparing for the class. So the entire narrative will be future tense, like ABC will do this, will do that, will. So all future tense narrative will come up, because this is a pre-prep plan and it's a document. Now, it aims at developing definitely scientific method of teaching, goes without saying. It includes the management of various needs and difficulties in one classroom. This is the tricky part when special needs comes in. You may have a group class of 5 students, 3 having some developmental conditions like ASD, 1 might have ADHD, 1 might have LD. It's a mixed group. It can be. So in this 5, among these 5 students, all the 5 students are having different current level abilities, different potentials, different functions, different prerequisites. Everything is different. Their learning styles are different. Even the methods they respond to may be different. The responses for evaluation will be different. So we cannot have just a set and, just set thing for a lesson plan in special needs. We write one, it may be one document for one particular class, but within that, the customization, the individualizations are incorporated. Okay, so definitely it's a written document and all of this. I'm coming to the self-evaluation at the end. So what are the components? So if it's a document, then what are the components we will be covering? Definitely the class details, which class you are teaching, how many students are there in the group, name of the students, age of the students, and the gender of the students, time and duration of the session. Is it 30 minutes? Is it 45 minutes? Is it 1 hour? What is the duration of that one particular session? I have seen lesson plan coming up with plans of weeks and all of that. No, we will be having one particular lesson plan for one particular duration of class. So it's like the duration is important over here. So it's one section, one period of class actually. So that what we are preparing. It's not going on and on. Definitely name of the teacher, number of students, as I said, the chronological age, and the area which we will be teaching. Is it curriculum? Is it co-curriculum? If it's curriculum, then what is the subject you are teaching? What is the basic area you are teaching? So it can be more and more definite. Like if it's curriculum, and then it's maths, and then it's like number concepts, or maybe bigger and smaller number concepts from 1 to 5. So this kind of specificity has to be mentioned in the topic, that what you are actually teaching. I have also seen lesson plans with the topic written algebra and geometry. Now my question to you, anyone can volunteer. Can this be the topic of a lesson plan document, algebra and geometry?
No, ma'am. We have to specify what topic we are taking.
No, ma'am.
Yes, first of all, we have to understand this is one period class planning. So, can I teach algebra and geometry in one class, first of all? Secondly, it's a class of special needs. We cannot combine so many concepts together, it would be utterly confusing. Thirdly, algebra and geometry is a vast thing. It's a vast topic. So what in algebra or what in geometry, that needs to be specified. So a lesson plan topic has to be very, very specific, and it should not be, something, it's very open-ended kind of thing. It should not be like that. Okay, Asra Khan, do you want to say something? You have raised your hand. No?
I think we can take the questionnaire round later on after you finish. That will be better, right?
Yes, we can take. So, Asra, you can put your hand down. So, okay. Okay, so that is the issue. So we know now that how it will come up in the class details. It would be just very, very neat and clear about what I'm going to teach exactly and to whom. Now I'm coming to the next part, which is, as the components continued, then it's like skills to be taught. In special needs, if it's a special need class, then purely special need class. I'm not talking about inclusive class or, integrated class. So functional academics, motor skills, these are some of the skills which we cover in special needs. We cover, it can be motor skills, it can be cognitive tasks, it can be, attention tasks, it can be some conceptual learning, it can be functional academics, which involves, academics which is needed to survive. Reading the basic words, sight words, counting numbers, having basic money concept, all those come under functional academics. Season concept, calendar concept, clock time concept. So all of this. So language and communication can be there. So these are the primary areas which special education classrooms function. So that can be the skills. Other topics can be taught, as I said, it has to be specific. It can be summer fruit, single digit addition, seasons. It can be on, just the names of the 12 months of the year. So that's specific. Now I'm coming to the very, very important part, that is the current level of the students. Current level, as I said, if I'm having 5 students in the group class, all the 5 is having different current level. And I'm also, I would like to clear out this term prerequisites for the skills. Now, pre means it has to be there before, okay? So if I would again like someone to volunteer. If I'm teaching in a class how to draw the basic straight line shapes like square or triangle, what can be the prerequisites of the kids present? Can anybody volunteer and explain?
Yes, ma'am. We can ask about the to show the picture or to show the pizza shape. Then they will answer about that. It's a circle, and we can ask
No,
about the kite.
yeah, Askia, I'm asking that what will be the prerequisite of those kids? Like what skills have to be there in the kids? So
drawing
that,
of straight lines,
yes,
curved lines.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So if a child cannot hold pencil properly,
Okay.
if a child cannot draw a straight line, should I teach the child to draw a shape? No.
No, ma'am. First, we have to
No.
show slanting, standing, sleeping line. Yes.
Yes. So
Now understood.
basically, we need to take care that whatever topic I have taken for this particular class and the students I'm having, suppose those 5 kids, as I mentioned, all these 5 kids are having the prerequisites for learning this topic or not. That has to be ensured. Otherwise, the class will fail miserably. You can understand that. Right? Because there is no purpose of teaching something for which they are not ready. So the readiness, I'm talking about the readiness. Prerequisite means the readiness. So if I am teaching someone, the color identification, if that is the topic, basic color identification, maybe red, green, yellow, something like that. What can be the prerequisites for this particular class for the students? Anybody else?
Ma'am, when we teach our students, so like as you told, like prerequisites knowledge they have. So all the 5 students, they have the knowledge, or only it will be sufficient for us, like 2, 3 students, they have this knowledge?
Yes, can you please, it just got interrupted. Can you please repeat what you have
I
said in
asked
between?
you, like as you told,
Yeah.
like the student should have prerequisite knowledge about the topic. So if we have like 5 students in our class, so all they have the knowledge about the like shapes and lines, as you are asking about colors. So they have like sometime they know like the rainbow's color, or
I'm not saying that the students should have the knowledge about the topic. I'm saying the
no,
students should have the kids have the skills which are
skills,
required to learn the topic.
learn the topic. So I'm asking you,
Yes.
all
So for
5
color
students should
identification,
have.
the students doesn't need to know the rainbow colors.
Okay.
Ma'am, may I
That,
say?
yes, you
Okay,
can.
ma'am, if child is very small or under the age of 5, firstly we will show a drawing book where in circle color is filled. Teacher will ask color, which color, what is your favorite color. तो उसको then he will realize that it's a red in color, and then we will after that give a answer on self that it is a red color. Then he will understand it's a color that is a red. Then definitely he will understand that ki about because of observation power he or she will understand that it is a talking about
Kit.
color.
Yeah, that this particular kit can differentiate between 2 dissimilar stimulus. This is first very important. Can this student match red with red color cards or red things? He doesn't know that it is called red. There is no identification of color. Identification of color is your topic to teach. You haven't taught it. The student doesn't have identification of the color. But then the prerequisites, what will be the prerequisites? The prerequisites will be,
the color
yes, the student can match and differentiate between 2
between the
stimulus.
colors.
The student needs to at least understand that these 2 are red and this is blue, which is different from red. The student will not be able to know the names like red and blue, but they can match the similar objects together and they can differentiate the dissimilar ones. At least the sorting skills has to be there before you go into the color identification skill. So we need to think in depth when we are dealing with special needs. When we are teaching something, what happens is that in most of the time, we teach them the way we have learned things. And we jump 10 steps in between. Because the learning process has to be very, very different for them, as they are having the neurological processing difficulties, which we didn't have perhaps. So if I cannot differentiate that this stimulus is different from this stimulus and this one is similar to this one, then will I be able to ever understand color differentiation? Will I be able to ever understand alphabets?
No.
Nothing
No.
actually. So the visual stimulus, differentiation, similarity, these has to be the prerequisite before you get into any kind of pre-academic things. I'm talking about pre-academic things. Academic to chori do. Okay. So while I was in current level, so special education lesson plan has a very important section where we write the current level of each kids separately, because the current level is different for each. And we also take care of the prerequisites are present or not. If the prerequisites are not present, then this particular kid is not suitable for this particular class. That we need to take care of. Okay, so current level. Now, while writing current level, how can we write about it? Suppose I'm now giving you an example. As we did just now, the identification of color topic, let's do it. So for current level of each kids, what are the points we need to take care of? Current level matlab current level related to the topic. Okay, so I actually don't need to write that the child can jump. Is it relevant in teaching identification of colors?
No.
No, it is not relevant. So we won't be writing anything in the current level section for that particular child which is not relevant to teaching the particular topic. The child may be able to do a lot of things, 10 things, 100 things, but those are not connected to or relevant to the topic being taught. So we need to be very careful about it. Acha, attention span is adequate. Is it relevant for teaching color identification or not?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Attention span is adequate or inadequate is extremely important for any skill actually. Whatever skill you are teaching, attention span, instruction following, sitting span, this will be important. Sitting span will be important if we are doing any tabletop work. If the activity is on the floor or on ground, then definitely sitting span is not relevant over there. So we have to write down the current level of each kid as per the topic we are teaching. Is this portion clear?
Yes, ma'am.
It's clear. Suppose if I write that the child destroys TLM, it has a tendency of throwing TLMs, tearing them up. Is it relevant or irrelevant for this particular topic?
Every time this will be like relevant to the topic
Every
because
it will be relevant to the topic, and especially if we are using something fragile like color cards or some paper made things which can be tiered, then definitely in my current level it has to be mentioned because I have to take extra care for that in my class session. So that is relevant. So okay, so this is how each and every current level will be written. Now we are coming to the next section after the current level. The very important thing which we deduce from the current level is the specific objective. Now, why we are having this class? There is a specific objective of the class as a teacher. Why I am taking this class? Why I am preparing for this class? What I'm looking forward to? So, specific objective has certain components written over there. And specific objective is group wise as per ability and prompt level needed. Like for instance, I'm giving you the, let me just take, okay. You can see, we can write like this. So after 30 minutes session, maybe a duration of 30 minutes on the topic, which is the content, student A will be able to do this certain behavior with such and such prompt, student B such and such, student C such and such. Remember, we have written the current level. So we can now expect that at the end of a 30 minutes duration of class, which student can respond in what way? Somewhat we can predict because we know the current level of the children. So on the basis of current level mentioned, we will be writing our specific objective. That what is the specific objective of the class? At the end of the class, I'm looking forward to this student will be able to respond to this or will be able to learn this, maybe with verbal prompt, maybe with physical prompt, maybe with, just independently, because the child is on the basis of current level. I can deduce that a 30-minute session will give him the concept. So I can write that the child will learn and will be able to respond to the primary colors independently. So specific objective has certain components. What are the components? Content, that is the topic, what we are teaching. Behavior of the child, that is the response of the child, what I am expecting from the child. Criteria, that is on what basis, prompt or percentage. Some of the teachers go with the percentage, 50% of a 50% correct hobe, 70%, 75% on the basis of current level. So sometimes it comes with percentage, sometimes it comes with the prompt level. So there is a certain criteria for that. So you have content, you have duration, you have criteria, you have behavior of the child, which is the response of the child. So all this has to be specifically written in specific objective, that what you are actually looking for at the end of your class. And as you can see, the specific objective for each kid will vary because the current level varies. Is this clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
before starting the lesson, first thing, as before, we have to gauge the knowledge of the student, prerequisite knowledge. After that, before preparing the lesson plans, we have to mention each and every children and in front of them that the knowledge what they had. And then after that, we should mention after the lesson, after I done the lesson, I should mention there they they make a bridge from here to there, they go before they had this knowledge, now they have this knowledge.
Yes, after teaching the lesson, what we will write, I haven't come to that portion yet. That will come at the end.
But the one thing, before making before during doing this lesson, we should register each and every children. Like if we have 15 children, we should mention the name of these 15.
Actually, 15 special needs students should not have a class together. That shouldn't be the ratio, ideally. But if it's happening and if it's fixed, like this 15 kids are there in one particular section and they are always taken group classes together, then I think what you can do is that you can have a common current level for all the kids mentioned somewhere. That might help you to do the lesson plan quickly, actually.
So we can make for a specific child like a portfolio. So we can mention
that has to be there, definitely. Every child should have a separate file. IPs should be separate.
According to that, we can take.
Yeah, that is the norm. So it has to be different and separate. So that's there. But while you are writing lesson plan, I will be saying some of the, I would like to share some of the tips so that you don't have to work very hard on everyday basis. Okay, so after specific objective, all this we are writing in future tense, as I said, because it's a pre-prep going on. So now the classroom arrangement to be written, how you will plan your class, how the students will be seated, where the TLMs will be displayed, where will you be standing or whatever. So it's like all of this will be mentioned in the classroom arrangement. Then comes the TLM, the teaching learning materials. What are the TLM you will be using? That needs to be listed. And the TLM includes everything in special needs. It can be a napkin, it can be a bowl, it can be a paper bag, it can be a string, it can be anything. So whatever materials we are
Ma'am, could
using.
I ask you one thing? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, Asifa, let Arpita complete the session.
Okay,
Definitely, we are going to take the questions after she finished the session. The
okay, fine,
flow
fine.
is disrupted. Please wait for the end of the session. A
Okay,
request is for everyone. Please.
Okay, thank you, Shushmita. So it's like, as I was saying, the TLM. So TLM includes everything. So whatever materials we're using during the session for teaching, those to be listed. It can be anything, as I said, it can be a brush, it can be a string, it can be a pencil, everything to be listed in the TLM section. Next, we come to the content part, and content actually briefly states the sequence of the steps of procedure. Like what can be the content for, as we were discussing this color identification thing. So we can have 5-6 steps of content. Like what is my actual plan in brief. Those can be written in bullet formats. Those can be written with hyphens. Anything. Those are just the steps. Those are not descriptive. Those are just written in I can say for content of color identification. It can be like this, that color cards, and then it's like it can be next can be same color pens to choose, sorting color cards, sorting color objects first. Maybe 3 colors variants are given: red, yellow, and blue. And the first step of your planning is that the children will be sorting colors in 3 different baskets. That can be the first step. The second step can be, now you're introducing color cards with each basket. So these steps can be written down in just like step writing in the content. What is your plan of the session? That is written in the content. Okay. And this plan is descriptively discussed. Next is in the procedure section. Before procedure comes a very, very important part. I would like to discuss the motivation. Now, motivation means you have to do some activities or something to introduce the topic in a fun way to motivate and engage the students. But this activities or interaction again has to be topic related. So if I'm going to teach color identification, I will be doing some motivation activities with some colors, maybe some brush pens or something, some messy work we can do, do some kind of, just to engage the students in the class. So we can do that. We won't be doing, okay, let's do some freehand exercises now, stand up and do this for motivation, for identification of colors, because that is irrelevant. It won't engage the kids in a relevant way to the main topic. So motivation part is a very brief part. We spend around maybe 2 minutes on it in the entire session of the class. And that 2 minutes is given to engage the students and to, actually draw their interest into the main topic so that we can introduce the topic then. There comes the teaching procedure. This is the detailed part of the content. As I said, in the content, we are writing just the steps. In procedure, we are having all the detailing. Procedure usually are having 3 columns. One, the TLM column, each step, which TLM we are using, that is there. Then the teacher's activity and the student's activity, what the teacher is saying and how the student is responding. So all these are detailed, written in the procedure section. And with As I said, now I would again like anyone to volunteer. We have different current levels of the students. We have different specific objectives from that current level. Now, while writing the procedures, the teacher's activity and the student's response, this too will be individualized, or it will be same for all of them. That's my question.
Individualized, obviously.
Individualized, ma'am, obviously.
Individualized, obviously individualized. So it might happen that for one particular step, I am holding one child's hand and helping him, giving him physical prompt to choose the correct color card. But for the other kid, I'm just maybe just, pointing. So I'm just using a gestural cue. Yeah. So my prompt level is different for each one of them in the same class for the same activity. And the response I'm taking from the kids, that is also different. So those individualized, as much as planning or prediction goes, that is mentioned in the procedure. Okay. Next comes, as it's written in the slide, we'll include TLM used in the teaching procedure, teacher's activity, students' activities as per the ability of each and the level of prompt given at every level of the session. Next, we come to the recap. It's a revision session where we just recap the entire thing, what we have done. It is again a very few minutes thing, 3 to 5 minutes max. We will be revising what we have done. Next portion is the evaluation where we will be testing that how much the children have actually learned. Now the evaluation is has to be based on the ability. Again, it goes without saying that the evaluation process has to be again individualized, right? For some students, I might want verbal responses. For some students, I might look for written responses. For some students, I might just, it's just a non-verbal pointing, picking up things responses. So the evaluation responses will be again different. My target will be different for evaluation. Interestingly, we also use a different set of TLM for evaluation. Can you just, can anybody explain why we do that? I'm explaining further before getting to the answer. Suppose I have done the teaching with the color cards, but when I'm evaluating, then I am using a different set of maybe color blocks. Not the color cards, not the same color cards which I have used during teaching. Why I'm doing this? Why I'm using a different set of TLM while evaluating?
So that we can evaluate the students
To
pretty much easily.
This will make us understand that whether the students have understood it clearly or not, whether they have knowledge more than that or not.
Ma'am, because the evaluation is done on the basis of the concept. Because basically the concept is being taught, and evaluation is also knowing the child has understood the concept.
It is just testing it in a very different way, ma'am, so that we can understand how the student can evaluate what we have taught them.
Whether they have understood or not, whether they have grabbed everything properly or not.
To analyze the student level, ma'am. To analyze the student level.
Basically, it is to avoid the risk of, the special needs kids. They actually have a tendency to pick up things on their rote memory. So whether the conceptual learning has taken place or not, it is basically done for that. Whether the generalization of skill is there or not. A child might be able to identify color on color cards, but may not be identify a red house as a red house.
They have grabbed the topic or not?
Grab the concept, yes, the concept. So is it a conceptual learning or is it a rote learning?
Conceptual learning, ma'am.
Yes, I know. I'm saying that we look forward to conceptual learning, but the children can have rote learning.
Yes.
So that's why, in order to be doubly sure that the children have developed conceptual learning,
Yes.
so we use a different set of TLM for evaluation. As I said, it's very common with the autism spectrum actually, that they learn the things in a particular setup, in a particular way, in that fixed idea. It's not generalized. It's not conceptual. So the child may be able to give you the red color card, but the child will never be able to identify red house as the red house.
Yes.
So that means there is no generalization of skill taking place. So we need to check our students with different set of TLMs and with variations to ensure that conceptual learning is taking place every time. It's not only about colors, especially with cognitive disability. We need to be very, very sure about it, because 80% of the learning goes rote. And that is the biggest challenge with cognitive disability.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what is very important to see. Okay, now I'm coming to, we have discussed specific objective. Okay, this is important. Now, okay, so we have done recap, we have done evaluation, and lastly, what we do, we give reinforcements. We write the reinforcements. What are the rewards or reinforcements we are giving to the kids at the end of the session for the cooperation and for everything? Now, for reinforcements, what will you ideally choose? Can anybody say?
Uh,
Mm.
Ma'am, if we are teaching colors, we can give students a specific color crayon.
Hmm,
What
yes,
did you?
but we
Can you?
will be avoiding materialistic rewards.
Okay.
You are having class with them every day, right?
Yes.
So you cannot give on, materialistic tangible rewards every day for every class. So we need to give social rewards more.
Okay.
And if they're very toddlers and very small, they don't understand social rewards, then we can use primary rewards a bit. Primary rewards are food and drink only. Food and drink means they can get a bit, just a corner of one chip, just a corner of one chip piece. So it has to be very controlled, because you cannot keep on giving tangibles like this. But if your child understands social reward, always choose social rewards, because social rewards, we don't need to spend money on that. For social rewards, these are higher form of rewards, right? A child may not be able to understand social rewards always. For that, we have to find out other things. It can be, the entire class can clap for each other. It's a social reward.
Yes.
But it's also very motivating for them that, okay, everyone is clapping for everyone. So we can all clap for each other. It's a wonderful class you have done. Thank you, and all of this. Sometimes you can use other privilege rewards, like a very cute badge, It's just that I have done so well. So it's like I can flaunt that badge today, that I have done so well. So try to get into secondary rewards.
Yes.
Try to avoid primary rewards. Try to avoid tangible rewards. Secondary rewards means privilege rewards, social rewards, all of this. Token economy rewards you can use. But do not give out tangibles and primary rewards at random. You won't be able to control that. And they will be saturated with it. They won't be finding it interesting very soon. So that's the hazard for it. I would like to go back. So reinforcements we will be writing. Okay. So it's not, reinforcement is not always topic related.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's not about that, as Ashish was saying, that we can give colors. Yes, we can give colors, but we cannot give colors to everyone. That would be difficult again, and we cannot give colors every day also. What we can do, okay, you can have a good coloring activity class tomorrow as a prize of it. So again, I'm getting an opportunity to engage them in a constructive way. I'm rewarding them, and still, it's being meaningful. So as a teacher or as a parent, we need to be extremely, wise in making commitments. That the commitments what we are making would ultimately lead to some other meaningful constructive engagements or not. That is very important. So this kind of reinforcement we can do, and we can write that what reinforcement we have planned for that particular class. I have skipped something which I would, okay, evaluation we have done. Okay, these are some of the ideas for evaluation. When we are doing evaluation, we definitely we are evaluating concepts, as we have said. So the mode of output can be for the students. We can do oral questionings. We can use worksheets. We can use direct TLM, different set. We can use pesting work, matching tasks, pointing tasks, coloring tasks. So its evaluation can be done in different modes. So like for color identification, I can just pick up a color card and say, which color is this? This is oral question.
Yes.
I can give a color worksheet where they have to do the worksheet with the colors. So that's a worksheet mode. I can give some matching activities. I can give, colored paper to paste in the particular color section. So that's a pasting work. In all the modes, I'm testing color concepts. So I can actually have a varied mode of evaluation based on the level of the child. Do not forget the current level and the prerequisites of the child in the entire session, because it is on that basis the entire special education class will go on. Okay, so do not forget that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, lastly, what we so these are all we write, and then we get into the class. Then we take the class. The class is finished. Then we come out of the class and write the self-evaluation, which is the end part of the lesson plan. So self-evaluation is written in the past tense, because self-evaluation is actually a comment written by the teacher on how the class went. So in self-evaluation, the entire lesson plan, as I said, is written in future tense because it is a pre-prep. Only self-evaluation part is written after the class is taken, as it is written after taking the class.
No, it should be done before taking the class.
Self-evaluation.
After taking the class, ma'am.
After taking the class, self-evaluation should be there.
After assessment of all the session, then
Yes,
evaluate.
yes, I'm saying that. That self-evaluation is the end part of the lesson plan. We come out of the class and then we write it down. And that is why we write in past tense, that how it went.
Yes.
Okay. So self-evaluation is the end part. And how do we write? So it is like you are evaluating yourself as a teacher over here. Why it is called self-evaluation? So the teacher is evaluating himself or herself. So how the class went? What was the performance of the kids? Did the kids cooperate? What TLM use was beneficial or not? Teaching methods were meaningful or not? Do you want to change some of the methods in the next class? What was your learning? Did any major behavioral challenges occur among students in the class? So all of this will come in a self-evaluation. It can be written in a paragraph, and it's a comment on how it went, including how they performed in the evaluation. Remember, we did an evaluation. So evaluation, when we wrote the evaluation plan, we wrote it before the class is taken, right? That was an evaluation plan, that how we will be doing the evaluation. In self-evaluation, we will be ending the self-evaluation with the performance of the kids in evaluation. There you have to specify that which students responded with how much prompt. That has to be there. Remember the specific objective? The specific objective, how did it work? Specific objective was a plan. Now, in your self-evaluation, you're writing ultimately how it matched, how much it matched. It is not necessary to match the specific objective all the time, because specific objective is a prediction. We are predicting that this kid will be responding in this manner after the end of the class with such prompt. It may match, it may not match fully with your evaluation response. So those have to be written at the self-evaluation at the end. So it is on the basis of self-evaluation we make the modifications for the next class or for the similar kind of classes. It's kind of insight given to us as teachers.
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Nice.
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Very clear. Okay. How many of you are doing special education course with APTTI?
Um,
Currently, I'm doing this course.
Okay. Okay. Now I would like to. Okay. So many hands are there. Fine. Now, for your better understanding, I would like to share a sample work from APTTI only, so that you get more clarity on it, how a lesson plan can be written. Okay.
Ma'am, what about the diploma students, ma'am?
Yeah.
I'm a student from APTTI who took a diploma course. So,
Okay.
what about the students of diploma course, ma'am? Who's doing the
Yes,
diploma
ma'am.
course?
Diploma course के लिए what will be the lesson plan?
I don't know, because IPs and lesson plans are covered in the PG level.
Okay, I just want to clear it. That's why I asked, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Just wait a second. Okay. Just wait a second. I'll just share.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Just let me know whether you can see it. Can you see it?
Not
no.
yet. Arpita, it's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can see it.
You can see it, right? Okay. So as now I'm just
Ma'am,
browsing.
I can't see this. I can't. I did not get yet.
You have a network issue.
Okay.
Those who are not
able to
getting,
see
you
it.
are having a network issue.
Acha. So
Arpita,
it's
you can carry on.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like as we have discussed, if I'm just recapping with you all right now. Okay. So it's like, as I said, there will be the class details. So which class you are teaching, the date, the time, duration of the class, name of the teacher, number of students, age range of the students, area, what is the skill, and the topic specifically. Now, as we are moving on,
Ma'am.
now current level, as I said, it's a very important part as we discussed for so long. So now we are doing the current level. See each and every student's group. I will be talking about group a brief in 1 or 2 sentences. Age, sex, and current level is mentioned. So current level is as per the topic being taught, right? So eye-hand coordination, attention span, instruction following, topic related, something specific, skills can be important. So those are mentioned in the current level. Now coming to the group part, let me explain what is group, why we are making group. Sometimes we make group similar students. If it's a big group, maybe 5 kids, 10 kids, as someone was saying, 15 kids. So in that case, we make groups for the similar students, similar current level. more or less similar students having more or less similar current level, more or less similar. It cannot be exactly similar. Current level can be put together in a particular group, like group A. 3 kids have been put in group A because they are having similar current level. They are not having similar developmental disorders. Please keep in mind, the grouping is not done on the basis of the diagnosis of disorders. डिसऑर्डर नेम के हिसाब से ग्रुपिंग नहीं होता है कि एएसडी
Yes, ma'am.
जितना ऑटिज्म है उसको एक ग्रुप में डाल दो. That is
That's what
not
I
there.
am asking you. Like, we can put them in according to their understanding, like
According to
how much
their,
knowledge they
yes,
have.
according to their current level.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
according to the
to their disease or
disorder. Yeah,
disorder.
all the
Yes,
LD
yes,
students
disorder.
put together.
Okay,
No, don't do that. So having similar current levels, those are grouped together. Okay.
okay,
So
ma'am.
yeah, so that's there. Now, okay, so let's move quickly. Okay, now you're having specific objective. Let's see the specific objective. You can see that each group has been given a specific objective at the end of the class, that how they will be responding to it, right? As I said, in specific objective, there will be content, there will be criteria, there will be response of the children, and there will be duration of the class mentioned. So that's there. Then the classroom arrangement. Just a second. Classroom arrangement, that whether the what kind of auditory and visual setup it would be, where the teacher will be standing, materials will be put up, all these are written down. And then the motivation plan. How can you motivate the students as per it is related to the topic? So motivation has to be related to the topic. And then we come to, you can ignore all of this, the visuals. Then we come to the TLM. Okay, so the TLM are listed, all the TLM written. Then comes the content, as I said that we will be writing the steps. As you can see, the choose right clothing for the season, then activities to enjoy during season. So the plan, the entire plan of the class, how will you teach? Those are put into certain steps which we put into the content area. So it's a very brief one. It doesn't take much time. So content. The detailed one is the teaching procedure. Now you can see how the procedure is written. You can see the detailing. TLM is mentioned for each teacher's activity. TLM is mentioned on the left. And for each teacher's activity, students' response is mentioned on the right. So all these are there. So every step, as I said, it's customized. So in students' activity section, you can see that the group A student with Q, group B with verbal prompt, all this has been mentioned. That which student will require what prompt for giving out the response. That is there in the procedure plan. Okay. Now, after that, definitely we come to the recap section. So we will be doing a brief recap of the entire activity. You can skip all of this. You don't need to be this detailed. I will be briefing you what to be done.
Ma'am, it would be helpful to show an example for the diploma students as well, ma'am.
I don't know what you are asking, because in diploma you don't have to make the lesson plan.
No, in the end, we have a lesson plan because I'm doing my 10th assignment right now and I have to do a lesson plan, lesson plan actually.
In which course you are doing, Safa?
Which one? Diploma, Montessori diploma.
Yeah,
Montessori diploma is different and this is different.
This is
Okay.
special education, and I'm not connected to Montessori diploma.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So reinforcement. Yeah, as I said, we will be mentioning the reinforcement like well done, excellent, or having some favorite game item at the end. Giving out stickers. It works well with the children. Giving out stickers for reinforcement. And at the end, we write the self-evaluation, how the class went. So how I delivered the instructions, how the methods helped me, what are the difficulties I faced during the class as a teacher. So all of this come at the end. So that's the self-evaluation part. Okay, now I have something to actually say, because you might feel that it will be this vast. Then my opinion and tip to you is that no, you need not to write such a vast lesson plan every time you're writing. You need not. In your daily work, when you are taking 5-6 classes every day, or when you are having such number of students, then it's humanly not possible to write such a detailed lesson plan. Let's be realistic. So what we can do is that, but we have to keep certain points in mind. What are the points we can't skip? We can just, mention in very brief. It can be a 1-page lesson plan. Okay, it can be just a 1-page lesson plan with the class details, current level, very important, specific objective, content steps, and then the self-evaluation. This will do for your work. But these are the very, very basic steps: specific objective, current level, and content. Without these steps, there will be no clarity of the entire session plan. So those steps cannot be missed, but you can write down. There is no norm that how much you need to write. A person can write a whole paragraph on motivation. A person can just write 2 lines here. Okay, so there is no norm on that. You can do that. So it is not about writing pages after pages. It is actually about documenting the basic concept. So you can have 1-page lesson plan for each class. That will do. The main concept has to be clear. Okay, so this is how I end it. Okay.
Thank you
Now,
so
if
much.
you have any questions, kindly put across to our people.
Yeah. You can, but we have already discussed so much.
Yeah, we'll take just about 5 questions.
So is it clear why we are doing?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask one question?
It was a very nice session. We learned a lot with this. We learned a lot from this
Am I
class.
audible?
Thank you so much for giving precious time to us, for explaining such a
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Thank you.
It was very good session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Arpita. Been well explained by you, as usual.
Thank you. I just hope it clears the concept, because it's quite blurred at times.
No issues.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
good
you so
night.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you.